Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303. Introducing one co-host with more nuggets than Chick-fil-A, Nick Morahan. Executive producer until we find someone better, Eric Washington. Nobody really knows what he does around here, Nevada Putnam. And now, the single greatest thing to happen to hosting in history, Jermaine Antonio Colon Mendez. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into Podcast Room 303, episode 312. I'm your host, Jermaine Colon Mendez. As always, these are our executive producers, the Nutty Putty, and the EP. On today's episode, we'll get into a NFL draft recap. The draft is come and gone, so we got some talking to do on that. We'll also touch on the playoffs and how some of those series have shook out. We won't deep dive all of them because some of them are basically chalk. But then we'll get into head-to-head, pop culture pick'em, and blind five as always. Without further ado, how you doing this evening, Nevada?
I'm good, but I am nervous. We are just over 2 hours away from puck drop for Avs elimination game number 1. So those of you listening will already know the answer and might be waiting for game 7. But yeah, 2-0. Simple as that. Have to go 2-0.
That's it. One game at a time, though. You just got to win today. Then we'll worry about next.
Yep.
We'll worry about Sunday. Or Sunday?
Yep.
Okay.
I would imagine probably Saturday. I don't know. Saturday or Sunday.
Sure. TBD. Classic Nevada.
Yep.
I'm assuming you've sent a head-to-head hedge.
Yes.
Or you're hedging the heart? Got it. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, I did tell you to bet Dallas money line on Landy's return, and you didn't do it.
Yeah, that one was I feel like that one was similar to when Nick and I went to the Cup game where there was just too much energy and emotion where they just kind of just weren't ready for the moment. I think that's what that was. That's what I'm going to say it was.
How you doing this evening, Eric?
Doing good, man. Excited to be here. Draft episode is always fun. Get to bloviate about how great my team did. And speaking of, you know what? We could talk about this later. I'm just saying, don't give a defending world champs bulletin board, Dallas. All right, just don't do it. All right, shut your mouths. Wait for the season to start. You drafted a guy early. Relax.
I hate to break it to you.
What?
But the Eagles don't need bulletin board material to get up for the Cowboys.
That's true. They're giving us a whole bunch of it right now.
It's not. I'm just saying, y'all don't need it. Y'all get up no matter what.
We hate them.
You could be 0-14.
Oh, we getting up.
Those are the two games you're getting up for. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, need all that. But no, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
May 15th schedule release for those of you who are interested in the NFL. That's around the time that everyone will start texting, "Hey man, you want to go catch this game? Hey man, you want to go catch this game?"
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, when the Saints visit Sean Payton in Denver, I'll probably be out there with you, Nevada. Even if it's cold, we'll go freeze our dicks off together.
All right. I'm down for
that. So I don't know if it's this. If it is this season, then yeah, I'm for sure there. I don't know if it's this season because we just played last year. And
yeah.
Sean Payton got Dennis Allen fired.
Still doing the Lord's work down in New Orleans. Sean Payton is.
Hallelujah. Dude, it breaks my heart to see Sean Payton just like Bo Nix. Everyone said bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Bo Nix hits. It's like the dude, he does this like the homie made Marcus Colston a household name, and Marcus Colston was a 7th round pick.
Love me some Marcus Colston.
You know what I mean? Like Kenny Stills, Robert Beacham. Like the dude just picks players and he knows how to get what he wants out of them. Yeah. So that's why I was just like, look, I was like, I know, Jahdae Barron, I get it because you had 2 boys already, that Moss and Surtain. But you got to keep up with this Kansas City Chiefs receiving core. They just added another one to them boys in LA. and they just added another receiver in Vegas. Sean Payton looks at his team and he's just like, we can man up against these teams and we can put people in the box. So Jonty and Omari and Hampton don't fucking kill him. Although if he would have taken Hampton, then the Chargers wouldn't have been able to. So I guess it's another story.
Yeah.
We'll touch more on that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and get into the head-to-head records or head-to-head review. Same.
Yeah, so last week was week 16. I know we're not doing parlays much anymore, but it's still been rough waters out here for us. So Jermaine went 1-2. He hit on a surprising bet that I didn't expect to happen. Jackson Dart being the second quarterback selected at plus 150. That was a nice little bet he hit, putting him at 19-29, up 15.48 on the season. Nick hit on a Cincinnati Reds bet, 18-30 on the season, up 15.5 units. And then Nevada and myself struck out again. We both went 0-3. Nevada's 18-30, up 16.8 units. And then I am 20-28, up 17.2 units. So the boys have tightened the race. We're all within, 1 or 2 wins of each other, and we're all within 2 units of each other. So tighter race, looking good. It'll be a fun few months here now that we're getting into that point where once playoffs are over, it's only pretty much baseball, and Nevada's the only one that really picks good baseball picks. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I feel disrespected here. So.
I was waiting for you to say something, dude. I looked right at you when I said it. I was like, he's gonna say something.
You're looking at the inaugural champ, you bum.
Yeah, you picked the Cincinnati Reds, dog. I want to hear it.
No. The group picked the Cincinnati.
Oh, okay.
And you just don't bet them on Memorial Day. The Reds win all the other time. You just don't do Maxwell wagers on the Reds on Memorial Day. Now we learned that lesson the hard way.
Yeah.
Nick's in his car right now, just punching the dash. Just
what's funny is it's an involuntary reaction to everyone who's heard that bet. But whenever someone who made that bet in the circle mentions Cincinnati Reds and Memorial Day, everyone freaks out. Like they're like, I don't know, just fit of psychosis just hit me. They're miles and miles away from me, and they know that it's been said. All of a sudden, their elbow starts.
When was the last time we talked about that bet? It's been a while. In a 30-second clip, refresh the listeners' minds to the infamous bet.
Honestly, I don't even remember who they played anymore. But we were so confident the Cincinnati Reds were going to win on Memorial Day. It was like, I think it was the year before COVID. No. When did we start the podcast? 2021. So probably 2022. And so we all were like Cincinnati Reds money line and run line. So we all put multiple bets in. I think all in the group had about like 2 or 3K on the Cincinnati Reds, like all in as the group. And it was over in like the second inning, if I'm not mistaken. And we were just, everyone was, and they came back and like made it close but just came up short. And every single one of us were pissed. And we had been on a streak before that of like, oh, we picked, and then boom.
Wasn't there some sort of shenanigans too with how the game ended, where you guys were like, if I remember correctly, there was some sort of shenanigans with maybe some people had the run line or something, and then I don't know. I'll have to go back and talk to some of the homies in the chat, but I'm almost positive, like you said, there was a blowout, then they caught up, and then there was some shenanigans at the end.
Yeah, I think they gave up a late run, and that ended up cooking everyone's bets because we had run line and money line.
I'll never forget that day, dude. It was. I just watched like 8 people just in a matter of seconds go from up here, real high up, to real low, dude.
It was a lot of money, dude. I think myself, I lost like $850.
Oh,
like myself, almost a C note. Maxwell, go all in, like. Bet the house type shit, and
divisional rival, dude.
And it wasn't bet the house max type shit. It was $1 unit. Like, we'll see how this goes kind of bet, and would have lost that dollar, but we got cooked. Oh, it's devastating. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the pop culture pick'em. Today's topic is top 5 NFL draft steals of 2025. The order is Nevada, Eric, myself. And, go ahead, take it away, Nevada.
I'm going to save the next one for Eric because I think he's going to take it. So I'll go with Shedeur falling all the way to Cleveland at round 6, pick 144.
No, round 5.
Oops. Pick
Oh,
144.
I'm sorry. Yeah, 5.
And it was Cleveland, right?
Yes, sir.
Homie, you know that. Hey, what are we doing?
Just had to make sure. Do you want to be having brain farts?
Come on, you knew that, bro. Just be confident with that one.
We can dive into that pick later on the draft recap, but that one is just wild.
Yeah. So what's funny is the NFL was dropping hints to people that Shedeur will fall. Like you can watch last week's draft episode where I put Shedeur will fall as my tagline. And today's is now Shedeur fell. But, 5th round is at worst, he was a second round quarterback. At worst.
Yeah. I
know what I mean?
I figured second, maybe early third at the very worst.
Yeah. And to get him in at 144.
Stupid.
So, for those of you who don't know why, so some of the reports have been coming out and it's multifold and it's basically the Sanders estate as a whole. So Deion Sanders' comment about we're going to pull an Eli on this kind of rubbed everyone the wrong way. Because first of all, when Eli did it, they weren't happy when Eli did it. They were pissed about it.
Yeah.
So now he's coming out and saying it ahead of time. They weren't thrilled about that. Shedeur Sanders apparently in the whiteboard meetings was kind of, which is feels out of character, but he was almost like nonchalant about it.
Mm-hmm.
The whiteboard meetings, he was nonchalant. He's just like, whatever, you're going to draft me. I'm that dude.
Right.
It's kind of the energy that he had. And, some of the coaches had asked him to look over plays or do X, Y, Z, and he didn't do it. And he had a falling out. And the one that, has been named is Brian Dable. And then from there, because the Giants had Shedeur as their number 1 quarterback at the beginning of the season. Like they thought, we love Shedeur. But when he had the falling out with Brian Dable and had that whole situation, they moved him off his board and moved to Jackson Dart. We could talk about Jackson Dart later. But, so it was a bunch of pieces. And then what happens, there's only a handful of teams that need quarterbacks, right? Because everyone's going to try out who they have, right? Yeah. Rookies, X, Y, Z. So it's like Pittsburgh, New Orleans, Cleveland, and the Giants. We're basically the only ones. Now, the other teams can use more quarterbacks, right? Quarterbacks get hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But what happened was other teams start calling, hey, man, so what's up with Shedeur? And people are just going to get your people are going to get feedback from those people that you pissed off. It's a small circle. There's only 32 GMs. There's only 32 coaches. You piss off one, it's going to get around real quick. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it just snowballed from there. And I think he just became almost kind of like a poison. Like nobody wanted to add that to their already existing experience. But I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people don't know exactly why he slid. I mean, they didn't know while it was happening. So it was pretty crazy. But I'll take my first pick here. I'm going to go ahead and take a 6th round pick, Devin Neal.
Okay.
So he was pick 6, round 6, 184, running back for New Orleans. Crazy productive in college. Can catch passes, can run between the tackles, had 1,000 yards for 3 straight seasons, and he played for Kansas, who wasn't or isn't particularly a very good school. He was probably the 10th best running back at worst, or 12th best running back in his class. And he ended up being like the 19th off the board. So I thought that was fantastic value. And, just so happens that the Saints took him. So I was pretty hyped about that. And then I just kind of want to spotlight this guy. And I just think he is good, played for Ole Miss. But JJ Pegues, Pegues. He's a defensive tackle. He was round 6, pick 180. And he was drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. We may talk about them later, a little foreshadowing there. A homie caught 7 touchdowns last year on offense. So this defensive tackle played fullback and tight end for Ole Miss and caught 7 touchdowns for them, and also rushed the passer crazy. I mean, maybe not crazy. He's a 6th-round pick, so he's obviously not hitting double-digit sacks. But if you're getting that kind of versatility from a guy in the 6th round, played against SEC talent, 324 pounds. Well, I mean, what's there to not like? So I'm going Jeremiah Javon Pegues. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to go with my next pick. I'm going to go with Siobhan Revel. He was pick. Let me see here. I wrote it down. He was pick 76 in the 3rd to the Dallas Cowboys. On a lot of people's big board, he was late 40s, early 50s. So they got a stud, I think, there at a position they really needed. Where did he play? He played at TCU, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Who is it?
East Carolina. Sorry, he played at East Carolina. So maybe that's why he fell, smaller school. But Siobhan Revel pick.
Oh, the corner, yeah.
The corner, yeah. Pick
he's
76 in the 3rd round for Dallas.
So him and Kevin Winston Jr., who you and I talked about extensively leading up to the actual draft, were both coming off injuries, which kind of caused their stock to fall.
Okay.
Great pick, though.
All right. With my second pick, I'm going to go with I'm probably going to butcher his name, but I think it's Alec Ayomanor. The Stanford wide receiver went to Tennessee. Round 4, pick 136. Obviously, Stanford for the last, ever since David Shaw left, have been pretty doo-doo as a team. But going to Tennessee, I think, is a good position for him. Obviously, they bring in Cam Ward, who is not a draft steal. And Cam's got to throw to somebody. I mean, they gave up, or they let their quote-unquote best wide receiver walk. Not best, but Westbrook, Ekine Westbrook.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alex 6'2", about 220. Probably figures to be a slot guy, but very reliable. If you obviously Travis Hunter was a big part of the draft in the college football. He lit up Travis Hunter back-to-back years, and I believe it was the 2023 season. He had like 240 yards, 3 touchdowns against him. So the dude can play.
Yeah, it was in 2024. I don't think they played, but in 2023, he absolutely crushed him.
Yeah. Let's see. Go back to my list here. My next one, I will go with. Give me Jack Sawyer. Defensive end at Ohio State, going to play in Pittsburgh, round 4, pick 123. Going to be opposite of old JJ there. Kind of obviously not the same talent level, but the same style. He's going to get after him. Obviously, teams are going to have to focus on JJ. Jack Sawyer led Ohio State defense last year. Could probably argue the year before that. I saw Sawyer as a Dan Campbell kind of guy with the Lions, but Pittsburgh fits that kind of cloth as well. So I think that's a great pick, especially in round 4.
Mike Tomlin, the original Dan Campbell.
Yeah, the black Dan Campbell.
Yeah. I did. So sorry, Eric, 1 second. I did mention that you love Jack Sawyer on the draft pod after you dropped off. and how you thought he could be a first-round pick. So it's
Yep.
not surprising to see him on your list here. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, so my next pick, I'm going to go with the safety who had 13 interceptions in the last 2 years out of Notre Dame, Xavier
Fuck.
Watts.
Damn.
I really
Fuck.
thought he was going to fall to Philly. I really thought he was going to be the safety the Eagles took, but we traded up and got, or not traded up, but we got Makuba, which let this dude fall all the way to 96 in the third round. This guy is back end of the first round talent, 13 interceptions at Notre Dame. They're pairing him with
Bates.
Jesse Bates, and I think that's a solid. I think the Falcons had an overall great draft. So this is a steal to me, getting him at 96.
Yeah, top 50, not first round. Still, obviously, still a steal.
I mean, that's like 40 picks. 40 picks. Yeah.
almost half. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Half of picks later. Or double the picks later. So, yeah, I had that on my list. It sounds like Nevada had it too.
Yep.
All right. Since everyone seems to be afraid of the sixth round, I'll take another one here. I'll take a seventh rounder here. I'm gonna go with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Who?
Round 7, pick 245, running back, Washington. I mean, this dude's kind of electric when you watch him play football, and he's gonna have the opportunity to carve out a real role on this team with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler not necessarily being world beaters. Eckler once upon a time was,
Yeah.
but we're also, post concussions, post injury, Austin Eckler. So it's, not as dope as he once was. So Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt comes in and has a big time chance.
Did I spell that remotely right?
I'll just fix it.
Okay.
Yeah, you got really
Close
close
enough.
though. You got
Okay.
really close though. Yeah. I forgot about it. I was like, this is a crazy one. I spelt Pews. Why didn't I spell this one? But yeah, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. I just want to spotlight him, especially if like you play any kind of dynasty football. This is the kind of guy you can take later that just has a ton of upside basically. And
Cool.
So that's a round seven pick. So let's see. I got 2 round 6, 2 round 7. I guess I can flirt with something closer to the top. And I'll go with round 5. Marcus Membo. It's M and then the word Bo. He's a guard. Round 5, pick 154 for the New York Giants. I thought this dude could go in the third round. And he's projects as like a starting guard in this league, but not a plug and play starter. So I think it's a great kind of like late flyer here since it's a 5th round pick and didn't cost him any penalties or anything or didn't cost him anything of consequence. But they may have found a guy that they can start on their offensive line for the next 10 years going. So I thought that was tremendous value. I know there's some people that didn't like that kid, but I thought he was real good.
Can you give me his picks? You said he was a 5th rounder?
Yeah, 154.
154.
Yeah, 5th round, 154.
And the team?
New York Giants.
Gee, man.
All right. Oh, interesting. I'm up, right?
Nope.
Good talk. Man, this is tough. I'm going to go with Caleb Johnson.
Solid.
He was a running back.
He was?
Or he is a running back, sorry.
Eric just killed him off.
R.I.P. the homie. Pour one out, dog.
Taken in the 3rd round at the 83rd pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers, probably to give Najee a little bit of competition there. Solid dude. He was projected a top 40 pick, maybe top 50 pick. So getting him at 83rd again, solid value, I think, for Pittsburgh. And then Mike Tomlin, he's going to use that guy right. So
he doesn't have to change his wardrobe, black and yellow to black and yellow.
Yeah.
Iowa to Pittsburgh. It's not bad, dude.
Yeah, he could just bring his college stuff over. If he forgets his Pittsburgh gear, I'm still good, coach. I'm still good. All right. For my last two picks, I'm going to go with Jalen Royals, wide receiver, going to KC.
Son of a bitch.
Round 4, pick 133. We're still kind of, at least I'm still waiting for some sort of punishment for Rashid Rice. I would think.
Not waiting, hoping.
Well, yeah, both waiting and hoping. There was a lot of comparisons to Rashid Rice as him as a player. Even if Rice comes back, you got Kelsey. We saw how much of a step down he took from his production. So someone else is going to have to fill that void for Patrick Mahomes, whether it's in the slot or working underneath, something like that. I think Jalen Royals could be that guy for him. And then my last one, I think it's more so value than steal. But I'm going to go with Will Johnson, the corner.
Yeah.
Going to the Cardinals, round 2, pick 47. The caveat with that is obviously his health. That's what caused him to fall down so far. I believe everybody was concerned about his knee because he's got like some sort of it wasn't degenerative, but he's got some sort of like chronic knee issue. But if he's healthy, he would have been arguably a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would have been the first corner off the board if he was.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, all right. My last pick. I got to be a homer here. I'm going to go Ty Robinson, defensive tackle out of Nebraska. The Eagles got him in the 4th round at pick 111. I'm taking this. He was like a top 60 player on a lot of mocks and a lot of big boards. But I'm taking here more as a steal because of where he went and what they could potentially unlock in him as a steal. It's just what we do. And we extended Jordan Davis on that 5th year, so we know we're not going to give him a big money contract. And it seems like how he's basically just replacing this dude with the 4th round pick that should have maybe been an early 3rd. So steal. I'm a consider it a steal. I know it might be a toss-up and it might be a little bit of a homer on this, but I think it's a great pick. And I've just watched a lot of tape on this dude the last 3 days, and he's phenomenal.
Eric, how many Eagles do you have on your list?
Just 2.
Okay.
Yeah, just 2. Howie had a great draft. What do you want me to do?
40% of your.
Don't be mad at me because Howie's an animal, dude. Come on now.
Just 2/5, no big deal.
Yeah.
Hey, better than 3/5.
Shout out to compromise. I got the last pick in the draft. I'm gonna go with. Fuck it, man. We ain't leaving the 5th round for any of my steals. I'm gonna go with Torrey Horton Jr.
My boy.
Yeah. So, that is exactly Nevada's boy. He fell down draft boards because of injuries, but for your line item, Eric, it's round 5, pick 166 to Seattle. Wide receiver for Colorado State. If he would have come out last year, he probably is a 2nd, 3rd round pick at worst. But he came back to help build that culture. I believe him and Kamara came back. I don't know. Maybe Kamara for Colorado State got drafted last year.
Yeah, he got drafted. Kamara was drafted to, I think, Miami last year. But
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
him and the quarterback both had NIL offers to leave to, I think it was K-State or something like that, and they both turned it down.
To the same school.
I think that was what the rumor was.
Fascinating.
They were both offered like $600,000 or $700,000 each. Come over here for 1 year, and they both said, "Nah, we good."
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, so Torrey Horton, man, he's a dynamo on the football field.
Yeah,
and I mean, this is the kind of dude you want to get the ball in his hands and just watch him work. So I thought Seattle in the 5th round picking up Torrey Horton, especially when everyone's questioning their receiving core, like they've got a bunch of holes. What are they going to get out of Cooper Kupp? This Torrey Horton cat comes in and has big time potential to, pay off draft capital and actually make a splash with the team that he landed with. And we just saw Sam Darnold support 2 relevant wide receivers And when Hawkinson got healthy, that was a third pass catcher. And a lot of people don't realize what Aaron Jones did last year, but Aaron Jones balled out for Minnesota. So, I mean, last year he had 1138 rushing, and I'm pretty sure he had like another 500 yards receiving.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a lot of runway with Sam Darnold. Should Sam Darnold continue his level of play to actually be something? So I like that pick there, especially in the 5th round.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
I didn't put him as a steal, but as a value. Trey Harris in the 2nd round, going to the Chargers, the Ole Miss wide receiver. I think 2nd round is right where he probably should have been, but I could understand if people were maybe looking at him late 1st, but the dude can play. He's just a flat out baller when it comes to wide receiver. So it sucks. Another one going into the division, but yeah, I like his play. I think he could do wonders there. Obviously, Ladd taking some pressure off of him as well. That I think he can flourish there.
Feels like Mike Williams.
Yeah.
Feels like
Yeah.
Mike Williams on the Chargers. And they got Trey Harris here. So I don't disagree with that. I think that's pretty good. Eric, any honorable mentions?
Yeah, so I had 2 safeties. Kevin Winston Jr. Picked 82 in the 3rd round to the Titans, and then Lathan Ransom, safety, pick 4, 122 to the Carolina Panthers. Both those guys, in my opinion, should have been top 80, top 60 picks, and they went much further than that. So good, in my opinion, steals.
Yeah, Winston Jr. has a torn ACL though.
Yeah, but I mean, again, if he comes back from healthy, you get a 2nd round guy in the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, we just seen too many guys not come back.
Yeah,
just not play the same, lose the zap. So, I'm going with 2 here. I'm going with Dylan Fairchild, guard, pick round 3, pick 81 for Cincinnati. They found a starter for that offensive line that gets Joe Burrow killed in the 3rd round after going defense, which they needed to do
Desperately.
Yeah. So to be able to find a quality offensive player for a team that needs it, especially on cheap contracts, which is the priority for them right now. I thought that was a great pick. And then Azari Thomas, cornerback for the New York Jets, was drafted round 3, pick 73. Dude only fell because he ran like a 4.5 something. And I was like, how many times do we have to see corners succeed that have techniques and ball skills and know how to play the game that run a 4.5 before we just stop saying like, oh, we can't draft that guy. So Jets, ironically, had a good draft. That's pretty shocking. I don't think I have ever said that before. Let's go ahead and wrap this head-to-head up. Did you read back the list to them, Eric?
No, but I can pull that up real quick. So, sorry, excuse me. For the Pop Culture Pick'em, top 5 NFL draft steals of the 2025 draft. Nevada had the first pick. He went Shador Sanders, Alec Ayomanor, Jack Sawyer, Jalen Royals, and Will Johnson. I had the 2nd pick. I went Jahad Campbell, Siobhan Revel, Xavier Watts, Caleb Johnson, and Ty Robinson. Jermaine took Devin Neal, J.J. Hughes, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Marcus Embo, and Torrey Horton Jr.
I win. All right, let's move to Blind 5, Nevada.
Let's do it. I think we're clearing out the cabinet, so I think we just have the one. Yep. So your first option is going to be Domino's.
Pizza or the game?
Pizza.
For us, oh.
No, it's like, if it's the game, number 1, baby. It's like, yo, Domino's stepped their game up recently. I mean, if we're going pizza chains here, or if we're just going chains in general, I'm good with Domino's at. Are we doing the classic hedge and putting them at 3, or we just go, how do you feel about Domino's? Do you not like Domino's, Eric?
I like Domino's. I like Domino's for the chains. It's one of the better ones. I'd say 4. I mean, we don't know if it's just going to be pizza. It could be all kinds of shit.
4? You can pick 3 better chains than Domino's right now. If
Did you like that Pizza Hut the other day? Because the Pizza Hut was pretty good the other day.
Pizza Hut was pretty good, but Papa John's is ass right now.
Yeah, Papa John's had new
All
ownership.
right, we'll go 4. We'll figure it out on the fly. All right,
let's fucking figure it out, dude.
Fuck. Papa John's is 5. They suck now, dude.
Yeah.
You know what it is? They took the racism out.
Too much trouble.
Look, if you read what happened with that story, my man got crushed for no reason. But Shaq got a lot of money. Good for Shaq.
Shaq-a-roni. Next up is Pizza Hut.
So looking like chains here. We started off wrong, brother.
2?
No, we got to get a solid 1. Like, who do you got higher than them?
Little Caesars?
All right, I'm good with Little Caesars. I love Little Caesars.
2.
All right, 2.
He's not going to say Little Caesars not watch. He's going to hit us with some dumb shit like Godfather's Pizza.
He's going to hit us with
shit.
fucking Bo Johns and tell us it's not a deep dish.
It's not. Papa Murphy.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Really?
Where's that at? Is that a Denver thing or?
I've never had it.
The take and bake pizzas? Oh.
Hold on. Let me
I was trying to
these
pick,
are
like. I was trying to.
So
pick,
you
like,
buy this at the store?
Yeah, you order it, pick it up, pop it in the oven when you're ready, take and bake.
Sounds like a cool concept.
I mean, it sounds tight, but I never had this.
3.
Trying to pick national ones.
3. Is it? Location.
I thought it was.
I'm gonna see if they have one in San Diego, dude.
All right. Let's see. We did pizza, Papa Murph's. Next up is Papa John.
Oh, put that at 5.
Yeah, you guys already said 5.
They suck now, dude. Yeah.
It's arguably like the worst pizza in the world.
Yeah, San Diego doesn't have one. Interesting.
And then number 1, you guys got Little Caesars.
Hell yeah, dude. We take that, dude. I fuck heavy with Little Caesars ever since day 1.
Especially in Detroit, dude.
My parents were like, we like Papa John's. It's like, no, I want Little Caesars. Dude, that crazy bread is just crack cocaine, bro. You know what? I'm getting Little Caesars tonight on principle, dude. Giving it the 1.
Man. You guys got better Little Caesars than we do? Because the ones up here just not worth it.
I've had some bad Little Caesars before.
Yeah, I will say this though. I'm obsessed with Detroit Little Caesars. Now, granted, that's their home base, that's where it's from, but they had like this thing that they put on their crust that they don't do in any other Little Caesars I've had, and it infuriates me.
I think it's crack cocaine.
It might be, dude, honestly, because that's how good that shit was. I had it. I was in Detroit for 4 days and I had that shit twice, dude.
Wow. Yeah. See, I describe every time I've had Little Caesars, I always think of this meme where it's the Little Caesars, pizza guy. He's like, $5 hot and ready's. And someone says, is it any good? And he replies, it's hot and it's ready. That's Little Caesars to me. So I don't know. Maybe you guys got better Little C's down there or in Texas or something, but man, I mean, for $5 you can't beat it, but
it's the best value.
So what other chain? Like, what are the chains? So you guys consider what? Godfather's? Is that the chain?
We have one out here.
You have one.
I ain't never heard of that.
You never had like what about Hungry Howie's? Y'all got Hungry Howie's?
Oh, I've had that. Yeah, that was
good.
There's one. I haven't been there yet.
Okay.
I guess I could have done CC's.
CC's? CC's is fire.
CC's would have been one.
I forgot about them. I read an article that they're trying to make a comeback.
Hell yeah, bro. Put one right here in IB. I'm there, bro. I mean, that's not where I live. I don't live anywhere near there. Papa Murphy's had like 6 or 7 locations out here in Nevada, all closed. It says permanently closed. I was like, damn, that's depressing.
All right.
I might want to try that now. Never had it before.
Let's see. Yeah, obviously Domino's and Pizza Hut. What's another chain? Little Caesars.
What's the Marcos?
Oh, you got them out there? I didn't know if they had gotten out there. I know is it Arizona
They
has a
had them.
couple?
They had them in Phoenix. I never tried it though.
May I interject here? Blaze?
Oh, the one that LeBron invested in.
Is that a chain?
It is a
Never heard of
chain.
it.
And then Grimaldi's? But that's not fast food, right? Like
Kind of. I could have thrown in like Sparrow's or California
Spar-
Pizza Kitchen.
Sparrow's is 101 all the time.
Sparrow's
every
is
time.
not good.
It's great, dude. You just go to the mall
Sparrow's
for
is not
$1.50, you get a
good.
soda and a slice of pizza, dude.
It's not good, dude. Sparrow's is. I have eaten Sparrow's like 3 times in my life.
Fire every time.
It's 0%
Fire with their foot fungus Parmesan cheese. Fire.
I will give you this. They do have 100% miss rate.
Wow.
All right.
I've only ate it 3 times, boys. It's not if you miss 3 times, like
Hater, dude.
yo, just see Steph Curry's game yesterday. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and touch base on some playoffs action. So, I mean, we only want to talk about the interesting series, so let's not waste anyone's time about Boston Celtics versus Orlando Magic.
Well, in the East, let's give a little bit of love to the Pistons.
Yeah.
I said we only want to talk about exciting series, and then I talked about the Celtics Magic. I never once said anything about
I'm
this.
just saying, I think the Pistons are going to win this, man. I feel it in my nuts.
I think the Pistons lose today.
Yeah, I know they do. I'm trying to speak it into existence, dude. I'm so sick and tired of the refs winning series for the New York Knicks.
Pistons are only down 7. Still got 7 minutes to go up till half.
So here's the thing about the Detroit Pistons. The refs have won the Knicks 2 games in this series. And
last year,
the Pistons should have beat the Knicks 4-1. Like, that's what's so crazy about this series. Cade Cunningham has been busting their ass, bro. Karl-Anthony Towns. I don't know what happened between that trade, but he plays completely different for the New York Knicks. The dude gets tough. He's in people's faces. He's attacking the basket, and then he's flexing on people like, you can't stop me. I was like, where has that been? Jimmy Butler asked for that 6 years ago. But for some reason, no. But this Knicks team, I think they got to fire their coach, man. This is coming from a Tom Thibodeau lover. Coach my Bulls, but he hits a ceiling pretty quickly, and he is killing these boys, playing them 40 minutes a game. And the offense that they run is incredibly Jalen Brunson reliant. If Jalen Brunson isn't running and getting hot and doing everything, then the Knicks struggle. So this Pistons team looks like a formidable team for the future. And that's kind of exciting. I don't think we've said that ever before. Any thoughts on that? Go ahead.
I was going to say that's not an inaccurate statement you just put out there.
And I mean, the other series it was 4-0 and 4-1, 4-1. Like we don't need to talk about those, right? Chalk City Jones. All right, I'm going. So we move into this. I mean, we don't got to talk about the Thunder. We don't got to talk about we can talk about the Timberwolves if you want.
Real quick, the Thunder, isn't it going to be like almost 2 weeks between games that they've played?
Yeah, because Nuggets Clippers can go 7. Yeah, so I think the last game that they played in that series was
Sunday.
I think so. Where's the date?
Man.
Yeah, April 26th. So we're at April 30th. So they'll be off a week.
A solid week at least.
Yeah, solid week. So if you were battling any sort of nagging injuries, like this probably feels really good.
Yep.
And meanwhile, the Nuggets Clippers are beating the fuck out of each other. Part of this, that was one of the series that Eric and I spotlighted as being the one to watch for this playoffs, and it hasn't disappointed. Kawhi Leonard is a top 5 player when healthy, and if you got grief with that, then come find me. I'm ready to scrap on that on site. He's been going toe-to-toe with Jokic, and it's been awesome to watch. It's been awesome to watch, especially the matchups when Kawhi Leonard's guarding Jokic, which is just an audacious move from Ty Lue. He's like, all right, you want to stand at the three-point line? Fine, we're going to put Kawhi on you. And I was like, that's crazy. It's been an interesting chess piece. The downfall of the Los Angeles Clippers, though, here is going to be James Harden. He's not a good playoff performer.
Regular season MVP, postseason. I don't even know if there's a term for it, but he's shit in the postseason.
Yeah, he keeps shit in the bed, basically. And he looks unconcerned to be aggressive.
He doesn't care, dude. He does not care about winning a championship.
I don't think that's fair to say.
I do make that assumption based off the fact that we've consistently seen him not rise to a higher level in the playoffs. If your intention was to win in the playoffs, we would see that effort. We would see the aggression. We would see it. Like, maybe that's just, I don't know. That's just what I take away from it. I obviously don't really like the guy, but dude, all that stuff you do in the regular season, cool. For what? What's the point of it? Personal accolades to get rich? Like, why do you play the sport? To get rich or to win? And I feel like he does.
Yeah, he plays it for money. Everyone plays it for money. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. You give them $0 and fly them around the world and tell them they got to play 82 games in 6 months. Like, no one's
what you're
thrilled.
saying, but there's guys who have a passion and a desire and a drive to win that's greater than making any type of not any type of money, but it's greater to them than the next 3 comma check they're getting. You know what I'm saying? Or 2 comma check they're geting. No, all right, dude. Say what you want.
I disagree. I'm just saying, like, we ain't getting this competitive fire from Ant if he ain't getting $300 million. That's all I'm saying. Like, I just
I think they go hand in hand. I think it goes hand in hand. Like, but I also do believe that like some guys just want it more than others. Some guys don't really truly care about. Like, they're not going to give everything they have 100% blood, sweat, and tears for it. Like Kobe did, like Jordan did, like Tim Duncan did. These guys who were constantly, and I know I just named 3 of the greatest players of all time. But James Harden, if you're thinking about it, James Harden is in that conversation, at least for shooting guards. At least for shooting guards. He's in the conversation for a top 5, top 6 shooting guard of all time.
For shooting guards, maybe. Homie ain't even close to top 30 ever.
That's what I just said, 4 shooting guards.
Yeah, but you picked Tim Duncan, the great, like, top 5 player of all time. You picked Kobe and Jordan. Like, those are all top 5. James Harden's closer to Clyde Drexler than he is Reggie Miller.
Man, poor Reggie never got one. But yeah, all right, dude. All I'm saying is he doesn't give off the I want to win at any cost that it takes.
I have no issue with that. You were talking about all the other players, and I was like, it's money, Eric. None of these people are doing this if it weren't for money, because they'll go find something else that pays them a lot more money.
I get that. And I understand why I shouldn't have said it. Like, you know, he like
James, you can bury James Harden. I ain't gonna.
Nobody's gonna do it for free. But also, those guys had the money just like he did, but they did all the other shit because they cared about winning as well.
You know why I know that they won't do it without the money? And we'll get into the NHL after this. It's because you see the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like, you see the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Like, that is a free exhibition game, and they're like, nah, fuck that. I'm just going to come down and shoot from half court. I ain't going to play a lick of defense. Like, the minute you take money out of it, there's no motivation.
Like, people want to roast LeBron for celebrating or, you know, cracking jokes and high-fiving with Timberwolves players with like 3 minutes left in the game when they were losing. We talked about this, and you said, dude, it's year 40 LeBron, 4 championship LeBron, 4-time MVP LeBron. He's not taking it as seriously, right? Like, he's still competitive. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say LeBron James isn't competitive, but he doesn't have that like urgency to win one anymore because he's already got 4. But like,
he's a billionaire.
But like James Harden does the same shit, and like he hasn't won shit, and he acts like he's God's gift to earth, but he ain't done nothing. He ain't. No. What's his? You always say, "What's your contribution to winning?" Regular season, cool. He contributes to winning. He wins you a fuck ton of games. But the minute the playoffs start, what's his contribution to your team?
I ain't disagreeing. I brought this point up.
All right.
The only thing I disagree with is you're just like, he just doesn't give it. I'm just like, dude, it's money. Like, that's the reason why he's playing. Like, if there was no money, James Harden's he's at the strip club that serves wings.
I feel like you have to have an alternative motivator besides just money to be a true great.
To be great, yeah. But let's be honest. Like, every generation, there's only like 5 truly great players. Like, truly great. That's what we say all the time. There's only 5 superstars in the league at any one given time.
For a long time, people considered him one.
Yeah, and we, for a long time, during that time, were saying, nah.
It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just that he's not cut from that cloth, I think.
You can't be up 3-1 and then in game 7 miss a historic amount of 3-pointers and me say that you're great.
Yeah. Anyway, he's eaten up enough of our time.
Shout out Anthony Edwards. Fuck that. Shout out Rudy Gobert. I'm so sick of all the hate that man gets. It's ridiculous. If you watch basketball and think Rudy Gobert is not good at basketball, I don't know what you're watching. And yesterday, he absolutely destroyed Luka Doncic and the Lakers to the point where Luka Doncic pulled a LeBron and quit mid-game. Mid-fourth quarter, Luka Doncic quit. He just went and stood at the corner 3 with about 2 minutes left. And the Lakers just chucked threes up at the end of the game and said, fuck it. Like, if these go in, then we win. If these don't go in, then we'll 1, 2, 3 Cancun.
Bold strategy.
Bro, I'm just blown away by that lack of effort at the end. And it's just like, yeah, LeBron did the same thing. LeBron was taking jump shots. Again, though, LeBron's 40 years old. And he played like 80 minutes in the last 2 games. Like, he don't recover the same way. So it's like, come on, boys. Like, but anyways, this last thing I'll say on the NBA: rotation, realization, vacation, Cancun in 5. Let's go ahead and get into the NHL.
Yeah, we got the only series that are done so far are out in the East. Carolina, as predicted, handled the Devils. Starting to look a little spicy there for the Canes, game 4 and 5, but they flexed their muscles, took care of the Devils. Caps took care of the Canadiens. Canadiens they weren't deep enough. They relied on one line to score, and that was it. I think if their goalie had stayed healthy, Montembeault, I know we talked about him in the preview, he was doing well, keeping them in games. But yeah, once he went out, it was kind of a little too heavy for the Canadians to hold on to. I think the shocking one was the Panthers taking care of Tampa in 5.
Handled.
That one should have been a 7-game bloodbath. So hats off to Florida. I don't know how they're doing it, but for the 3rd straight year, they're pulling the lightning card and just running through the playoffs, getting back to the cup. So, then the
every game. Sorry, 1 second. Every game in that series was 2 goals. Was won by 2 goals or more. So if you were betting -1.5 puck lines for Florida, you was cashing heavy. But yeah, go ahead.
Leafs are trying to leaf in the first round. They were looking at a sweep against the Senators. Senators said, nah. And then they went to game 5, and the Senators said, nah, again. And they're currently almost to the second intermission. The Leafs are up 2-1. So we'll see what happens here in the next about 45 minutes or so. Over in the West, pretty wide open. I would say the one that's probably closest to done, if I was the team, I'd be worried, is the Kings and Oilers. Those first 2 games, the Kings looked really good. And then I wouldn't say a flip was switched, but the puck momentum for the Oilers started hitting. They got a chance to close it out tonight in Edmonton. We'll see how the Kings hold up. I think they may be starting to drink from a fire hose here. Vegas is up on the Wild 3-2, and last I saw they were up. I believe it was 1-0.
It's 1-1 right now. 1-1.
1-1. Okay. They'll be starting the second here momentarily. Obviously, the Avs and Stars play here in a little bit. Avs, like we said in the beginning, got to go 2-0 next 2 games. I mean, a game tonight, got to go 1-0, but 2-0 if they want to keep going on. So that one's frustrating, obviously close to my heart, but that's a series that, based on how they're playing, should have been done in 5.
I agree. The Avs should have won. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that the Avs don't have a top 5 player?
I don't. I think it more has to do with the coaches. DeBoer in the last 4 years is 2-0 against the Avs in the playoffs. He just knows how to coach against them. He's a tactician when it comes to lineups, particularly at home. So that's a worry. I think the last 2 times that we've played a Pete DeBoer team in the playoffs, the Avs have been ousted in 6. So we'll see here in a few hours if that holds true. I think as worrisome, if not more worrisome, if it does go 7, Pete DeBoer, I believe his record is 7-0 or 7-1, something like that. So it's an uphill battle. Obviously pulling for the Avs, but I'm nervous. I am very nervous.
Yeah. I didn't know about the DeBoer stat. Did DeBoer have their number with the Vegas Knights as well?
Yep, he beat. It was the year Vegas won the cup. Or no, sorry, it wasn't. It was the year before the Avs won the cup. So that series was frustrating because we owned the first 2 games and owned the first period of Game 3, and we got worked after that. Didn't win a single period after that. 4 straight games. Done.
Didn't win a single period after that? Like you weren't up ever?
I don't know. We may have been
It doesn't
maybe up,
matter. You lost.
but play style wise, never won a period based on play.
Got it.
It was
okay.
Flipped a switch, figured it out. 1-6, off you go.
So all this playoffs just shows me how uncompetitive the Eastern Conference is.
It's the haves and have-nots.
Yeah, it's like super top heavy. Like the teams you thought would win handled business. When they showed the bracket and it was like 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2,
Mhm.
and it was 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1.
Yeah.
And then they snuck in a competitive series in the middle there at the 3-2. And I was just like, all right, let's just get the Eastern Conference second round rolling. Like we just need to get.
Yeah, going into the Game 5s, the entire Western Conference was tied 2-2. The entire Eastern Conference was 3-1. Every single series.
Yeah, I wish my team was in the Eastern Conference, man.
Yeah, no shit, man.
Oh, devastating. Based on what you've seen so far, this goes to both of you. Who do you have winning it all?
The Stanley?
Winner and the Larry O'Brien for both NBA and NHL.
Winner of the Avs series.
That's who you think wins it all?
Yeah. And then NBA, listen. Until somebody knocks you off when you're built like this and you're this deep and you're this good and you have the second best coach in basketball, I'm Boston Celtics.
I'm pretty sure a stripper said that same sentence to me.
And Mama Mendes, you heard that.
I'll go with the Thunder. I think it's kind of the East and the NBA is kind of the same as the NHL in the East, where you got your top heavies, but the Thunder are just so far head and shoulders above anybody in the West. I mean, shit.
No,
I don't know if they're going to lose 3 games in the next, to get to the championship game.
To get to the finals or to the Western Conference finals?
To the finals.
So that's an interesting bet. I would love to see that, dude. I wish they would give bets like that. Oh, Thunder don't only lose 3 games to the finals. That'd be interesting.
Like you're going to play either the Nuggets or the Clippers. They've handled them. Nuggets aren't going to be able to stop that. And then who else you got still kicking? Timberwolves maybe might give them a fight. But
Timberwolves, they're young enough to compete, but I just think the Thunder might run roughshod on them. It's going to be interesting. Look, they play Denver or the Clippers next, and we're going to find out a lot about Oklahoma City in that series. So it's going to be fun. But like Eric said, I think that Celtics pick. It's probably the safest. They're all hurt and they're still whooping that ass. Like, it's fucking annoying. Who do you got winning the cup, Nevada? Stanley?
Yeah, I think I'll agree with Eric. I think it's the winner of the Dallas-Colorado series. But man, Florida, frick, they look good.
I love the Capitals. The Capitals are playing real good hockey. Like, really good. I just felt like they wouldn't be able to continue it in the playoffs, but they got some sort of special Ovi dust going on that squad.
Dude, if he wins the cup, he walks off, right?
No.
No?
I think he wants to do ridiculous things with that goal scoring record.
Wants to hit 1K?
I think he plays 5 more years.
Nah. I think his contract is up after next year, so I think 1 more year.
Yeah, then he goes to Philly, and then he helps them win a championship while he stacks up goals.
Him and Mitchkov, the Russian connection.
Yeah.
That's like Dirk Nowitzki leaving to go join
another
team.
dude.
You don't leave the franchise.
It's a tug, dude.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, like Florida, based on how they undress the Lightning, that's a good pick. But maybe we overvalued the Lightning because of historics. It's up for debate. It's up for question, but we'll figure that out at a later time. That's why we play the games, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get into the NFL draft. And here, since we're already running a little long, we'll just do one winner, one loser. You could do one team winner, one team loser, and then one player that you thought won, or one player that you thought lost. However you want to do it. You can do one of each if you're quick with it. So we'll start with you, Eric.
So for my
winner, you cannot pick the Eagles.
I wasn't going to.
I was just getting out in front. I was just getting out in front, dude.
So with my winner, because they're solid on the offensive side, and if you look at like the last 20 years, they've had to make a blip where they had a good defense, and they went heavy defense. I'm going Atlanta. They got Jalen Walker, Xavier Watts, and who's the third player that they got that's an animal?
You picked him. You should know.
Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm spacing out.
Oh, dude, he's going to kill himself when he doesn't remember the name.
I am going to.
He's Googling it. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen.
I am Googling it.
He's going to pretend to know. James Pierce Jr. Probably.
Oh, James Pierce Jr. Yeah, because that was the guy that that was the guy I thought Philly was going to get at 32, but things played out differently. But anyway, Atlanta, way to double up on 2 pass rushers. Way to get a safety. That was a need to pair with Jesse Bates. I give it an A+. I don't know if they had many other picks. I think they had like 5 picks total in the draft, but solid with those 3 picks for sure. So I give them an A. I give them an A. And then you said pick 1 letdown.
Yeah, 1 letdown. Hold on, before you wrap up Atlanta. The only reason why I don't think Atlanta won this draft, or I didn't grade their class very high, is they traded next year's first to get James Pierce Jr., who has a ton of question marks. And not only that, they drafted him well ahead of anywhere anyone thought he was projected. So if James Pierce Jr. hits, then I'm going to give them the pick. But giving up a first when you're not a team that's guaranteed to be in the playoffs is crazy work.
Yeah. But
same thing could be said for Jacksonville.
I mean, you could say the same thing. Like, it's happened to a lot of players. Like, for a lot of the season, he was a top 10 player, and then he fell, and then he went back up, and then he fell again. So I'm just gonna. My grade is based off the fact that I think he is gonna hit. I'm not saying he's gonna be Myles fucking Garrett, right? But he could give you 6
better.
to
You
8
traded.
sacks
You
a year.
used 2 firsts.
All right. And then I think my biggest disappointment is gonna be. Let me see here. I wrote this down on my phone the other day. Where's my notes at? Here we go.
Nevada, do you have your winner? And we'll just let Eric find his notes real quick.
Yeah, I think, and it could be just going off of names they picked, but I do think the Browns had a really good draft. I think.
Oh, shit. He froze.
Oh, and they got Billy Bowman Jr. from the linebacker from Oklahoma, which I really like that pick too. Did we really lose Nevada?
Safety, yeah. You might have just talked over him.
Damn
it. Go ahead. Go. I wish it. Come back, Nevada. Come back. Baby, come back. He's got the worst internet notes, man. Go ahead and give us your loser, Eric.
So I wrote down the Green Bay Packers, and I wrote down the Minnesota Vikings. I'm just trying to see what else I wrote down here because I actually look back at their drafts and I like them, but I'm just gonna pick the Packers. I think they first time in what 20-something years they picked a wide receiver.
23 years.
Yeah, 23 years, and they went with one of the most skeptical guys in the draft instead of going with somebody who maybe doesn't have as high of a ceiling, but is more solid. And then I did like their Baron Sorrell pick, but for the rest of them, I'm not like for the first three picks, Savion Williams, wide receiver TCU. I think I might just be salty because of TCU history, wide receivers with the Eagles, and then Anthony Belton, offensive tackle out of North Carolina State. I think it was a little bit of a reach, and therefore I'm just going to pick the Packers to make it easier for everybody.
Yeah, no, sounds good. Yeah, dude, TCU receivers, not just the Eagles, just in general, don't hit. God, I don't remember his name, but he was drafted in the same year that Corey Coleman was drafted. There was a TCU receiver. It was when I'll have to look it up, but they have Quentin Johnston, Jalen Reagor, Xavier Williams. They keep constantly put wide receivers in that just fail. It's very interesting. So Nevada, let's get back to your Cleveland pick there.
Yeah, I think old Deshaun there was trying to pull the internet out of my house when I mentioned that the Browns did well. But again, going from 2 to 5 to get that haul for a trade, I think that's just a good GM. Well, maybe not a good GM, but taking advantage of a rookie GM in Jacksonville. But at 5, you get Mason Graham, who I don't know, he might be one of the more solid, secure guys in the top part of the draft. Carson Schwestinger, linebacker from UCLA, very, I wouldn't say underrated, but he could have easily popped into the first round. You get 2 stud running backs, Quinshawn Judkins and then Dylan Sampson in 2 different rounds to complement each other. You get a guy like Harold Fannin Jr. to develop along with Njoku, so you can bring him along at a solid pace. Dylan Gabriel, maybe not a starter, but he could be a backup for you. But again, I think the one Shedeur Sanders, like him or not, the dude's talented. Obviously, you got to deal with all the baggage that comes with it. But in the 5th round, for a potential, maybe not a franchise guy, but I don't doubt that he can be a starter. And
he could be a 10-year starter. Derek Carr, Geno Smith. He could very easily be that, and he could even be better.
Yep. And that wide receiver room really is wide open. I mean, yes, technically Deshaun Watson's in there, but he's not.
You mean quarterback room, right?
What did I say?
You said wide receiver.
Right.
I was like, yo, we lined up Shedeur at wide out. I'm watching every Cleveland Browns game, dog.
But you got Watson, but he's really not going to play because he just tore his Achilles a few months ago. You got old Joe Flacco. You got Kenny Glove Pickett. You got Dylan Gabriel, and you got Shedeur Sanders. You can tell me Sanders can't win that room?
No, absolutely. I expect him to win it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if he doesn't win it, that's an indictment on him.
Yeah.
I know he's battling 2 Super Bowl champions, but come on, dude, get over it.
So I think that combined with they still got a great head coach. He's probably on getting close to borrowed time, but he's a damn good coach in Stefanski. So I like their draft. I think maybe not fill a lot of holes, but they got holes everywhere. They weren't going to fix this in one draft.
Yeah. Again, I don't disagree with either of the picks. I think a lot of teams had good drafts. It's just 2 quarterbacks. One was a 3rd-round pick. You traded 2 picks to get the 2nd quarterback. I don't know. I would downgrade it. I still think it's a good class. Like everything you said, I agree with. But like that's probably why I wouldn't pick it as a winner. But they got Mason Graham, who's a fantastic player. They paired him with the most expensive defensive end in NFL history, and they should be able to stop running game a lot better now. So, and then added that first next year, where everyone thought they would add their quarterback, and now they added 2. So those 2 firsts will go to something else. Hopefully, they draft a wide receiver or something. But no, overall, still really good. The team I'm going with Seattle. Seattle was 10-7 last year, and a lot of people I feel like don't remember that. They came in needing offensive line help. Geno Smith was running for his goddamn life last year and made a lot of really good plays that most other quarterbacks couldn't have made. With the pressure and the scrutiny and all the stuff that was coming from it. So they saw Sam Darnold implode when he gets rushed, and they realized they had to do it. So they got one of my favorite players in this draft. Perennial riser since January due to his performance at the Senior Bowl. And I don't know if he played in the East West Shrine Bowl, but Gray Zabel. It was a slight reach. He's probably a top, probably a 25, 30 guy on most big boards, but they filled a need with a plug and play starter and in the first round. And they got him at pick 18. So it's a pretty good spot to draft a guard. You don't typically want to spend a top 15 capital on a guard. Even though I think every spot on the offensive line is great. They followed that up by making an aggressive trade up to secure an absolute first-round talent, but the NFL just doesn't value safeties, in Nick Emmanwori.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, crap. Then they added a tight end, or could also be a big wide receiver, a slot-type wide receiver, in Elijah Arroyo. He got a lot of buzz coming out of draft season because of his performance with Cam Ward, and who just won sorry, not the Heisman, but just went number 1 overall. And then follow that up in the 3rd round, Jalen Milroe still on the board, who I thought first of all, if he doesn't play quarterback for you, you can still use him as like Taysom Hill, right? You can put in packages. Yeah. The dude is electric carrying the ball. And on top of that, trick plays, like you throw it to him behind the line of scrimmage to get him in someone's downfield. The dude has an awesome arm for a deep ball. And if Sam Darnold doesn't hit, you got a guy. The head coach, Mike McDonald, was the DC for the Baltimore Ravens. He wants to run the football. You don't think that he sees Jalen Milroe as possibly his Lamar Jackson, and he got him in the 3rd? Fantastic.
Probably more like his Cam Newton.
Yeah. Cam Newton, that's probably a better comp, to be honest. I like that. He's just so fast. Yeah. And then they just made solid picks. Torrey Horton in the 5th, Damian Martinez in the 7th, Ricky White in the 7th, another wide receiver who has a lot of game. They brought in 2 defensive tackles in the draft. 2 offensive tackles, and they brought in a defensive tackle. A lot of holes filled, a lot of needs drafted. It was all well, and they added 10 guys that could play meaningful minutes for them. So I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks here. And did you give a loser already, Nevada?
Oh, no. I had a couple teams on there. I think I'm going to go with Cincinnati, though.
Oh, that's what I was going to go with.
You mentioned it in your piece, your PCP for Dylan Fairchild, kind of as a steal. I don't have any issue with that. My issue is they needed defense. They went with defense. I just think they went with the wrong people on defense. Particularly, I think it's headlined by the first-round pick at number 17 in Shamar Stewart from A&M. It's been well documented leading up to the draft. The dude's a freak, athletic freak. But certainly last year, and I believe the year before, he's kind of disappeared on the field. So he's one of those guys where he's great for the underwear Olympics, but you put on the tape and he doesn't show up. Certainly not what you would expect for a middle of the first round pick, who's essentially that pick was to replace Trey Hendrickson. I'll take Trey over Shamar 8 days a week. I obviously we could be wrong and Shamar hits, but so far I don't see the production that says his athleticism will translate. We're talking about in college in the SEC, and now you're going to go play in the pros and you're going to turn it on. I don't know. That just scares me.
4.5 sacks, man, in his career.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter, not a pass rusher, 4.5 sacks in a season by himself. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
This dude was a top. What was he? He was 20. No, he was 16, something like that.
He went 17th.
17th. Yeah,
So,
no, it's a great pick. That's the team I was going to pick. So I'm hitting a scramble drill over here to try to find someone that I don't like. I'm gonna go with the Miami Dolphins. If Reach Around was an NFL football team, it'd be the Miami Dolphins because they kept reaching around. So Kenneth Grant, good defensive tackle. I thought there was better defensive tackles on the board.
Yep.
So they took him. Jonah Savayanea, the guard out of Arizona. I do think they got a starter there. I just think they reached and drafted him way too early when there was still other offensive line talent on the board.
Especially they drafted him 5th in the second round. We're talking the very tippy top of the second round.
Yeah. And then after that, they didn't have a second, third, or fourth round pick. And this is a team with a ton of holes. The offensive line just had their left tackle retire. Yep. And we addressed the offensive line once, and we drafted a guard. Do you expect Sabanea at 6'4", 324 to kick out to tackle? Yeah, no. I think he played some with Arizona, but I think that's what they're expecting him to do. So he has versatility. He played all positions in college. So I think they're drafting him to be the left tackle, which is even crazier of a reach. I'm like, what are we doing? And I look at it. They only added one cornerback, even though they're trying to trade Jalen Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
I think they got 2 really good steals in the 6th and 7th with Ollie Gordon and Quinn Ewers. But there's a reason those 2 were available in the 6th and 7th, right? Like Quinn Ewers shouldn't have fallen that far, but Quinn Ewers, oh man, it's very interesting.
He's going to play next year because we know Tua is going to be out at some point. You're not. They still have Skylar Thompson, I believe, is on the roster, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Skylar Thompson is in.
Or did he go to Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Skylar Thompson, I think, is in Pittsburgh.
I think
he's backing up Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
So super quarterback room that is. But I mean, we all know Tua is going to be out at some point for probably 2 or 3 games in a row.
You can just bank on it. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. That's the bet I'm putting on the season. Just like Eric put one on earlier, I'm putting that one on. Tua's going to be out at least 2 or 3 games this year.
2 or 3 games this year,
at least. Yeah.
Oh, hold on. For concussion or just any injury?
I feel like it's probably has to be concussion.
All right, I'll take the bet if you're saying concussion specifically. If it's any injury, I'm opening myself up to.
I mean, concussion is the easy one because we all know his history with that. But I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'll say 2 to 3.
We'll do 2, and he gets a concussion.
Okay,
and I'll take the bet.
2 with some sort of concussion-related issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Put a case of beer on that, Eric.
Yep.
All right. Way too early offensive rookie of the year. Who do you guys got?
Marion Hampton.
Dirty little whore.
You only picked that because you're a Broncos fan, by the way.
No.
You're not going to take Jonty? You're going to take Omarion Hampton, who's splitting with Najee?
Yeah, I did. 100%.
No, dude. 100%.
100%.
Offensive rookie of the year.
Obviously, defense is next. So if you don't see
Yeah.
it coming, I'll go next on offensive rookie of the year. Hopefully, it doesn't steal Nevada's choice. I'm gonna go Quinshon Judkins, Cleveland Browns.
That rattles my mind. I'll go with his OSU teammate. I'll go with Travion up in New England.
Okay. Yeah, Ramondre and Antonio Gibson fumble more than somebody trying to take a chick home at the bar. So, defensive rookie of the year. I'll go first since there's dead space. I'll go Malachi Starks, safety for Baltimore.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll stay away from that. I'll go with Jedi Barron with the Broncos. I
love how much you hate and love that pick at the same time, brother. It cracks me up, dude.
I don't hate the pick. I just don't think it didn't fit any position of need. It was just a luxury pick. So I'm not upset about it. You can never complain about secondary depth, but Hampton was there. Tackles were there.
It's true. We've all watched bad secondary play, though.
Yeah.
It's fucking frustrating.
Well, and when Riley Moss goes out, it does get bad. So
it gets bleak.
Yeah. Or when our White Knight gets knocked out of the game, it is difficult.
All right. He just started thinking about it. He didn't think I was.
No, I was gonna pick Jalen Walker or James Pierce to piss you off, but I'm gonna go with Travis Hunter.
Jalen Walker's
Travis Hunter.
Why would they make me mad? They're good players. I just said I wouldn't give up an extra first round pick.
You know what? No, I changed my pick. James Pierce, defensive rookie of the year. I'm doubling down. Doubling down.
That's diabolical work to pick a Atlanta Falcon. I hate you. I hate your stinking guts. I changed my mind. I'm taking offensive rookie of the year, Tyler Booker, the Jalen Carter stopper.
I'm not even gonna.
He got worked out, dude. He's ready to yell at me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. That's a good pick. Either one. So you're going James Pierce Jr. Final answer?
Yeah, James Pierce Jr. Final answer.
All right. You guys got anything else for the 10s and 10s?
Go Avs, go. Nothing, Eric?
I want to say it so bad, but I'm not going to say it. No, I got nothing. Go Birds!
You triggered his autistic Tourette's, dog. Follow us on Instagram, X, and YouTube at Podcast Room303. Follow our sister pod, Revenge of the Pod, on all things social and wherever you get your podcasts. For myself, Jermaine Mendez. For the executive producers, the EPE and Nutty Putty, we'll see you next time when you come on down and step into the room.